they were able to take down Na'Vi. So those are the wins that the teams have accrued, and now looking for that second one. We'll start things off with Optic moving to the top lane to drop an observer ward behind the tower, and for OG to move together as a team as 4, moving up into the mid lane and wrapping around behind Optic. CCNC, he might spot this out. The Astral was nearby, and it looks like OG are just going to take position, drop a ward down on the high ground, and try to grab this boundary run. Although they are backing up, they're not going to go and contest this, it looks like.
I'm curious to see how OG are going to deal with this lane setup, because Optic Gaming's lane setup with the Dark Willow plus any potential hero looks quite strong. Morphling is going to get pressured pretty hard in the early parts of the game. And I'm not too sure what Elder Titan can accomplish in the early game here. Like, he doesn't have these strong lanes to play off, or at least these lanes that he can easily pressure.
No, he's already going to get burrow struck. They will actually get the rune. Optic get 2, OG get 2. Jarek's still taking damage. He's able to walk through the Bramble Maze despite, you know, Elder Titan being a massive hero. He's able to get out almost unscathed, with the exception of a couple of auto attacks and 1 Bramble Maze tick. So
that's quite unlucky, it feels like, right?
Yeah.
If you had 2 of them, you know, lined up, then it would cover the choke, but such an awkward spell to aim.
By the way, 3-3 is on the Sand King. Zai is on the Dark Willow.
Okay.
So if we go past previous plays in the offlane, 3-3 was the offlane player for the majority of the tournament so far. And then Zai has transitioned into the 4 role. Speaking of which, he's going to get telekinesis top lane, but not much damage there. It looks like they weren't actually going to go for anything. And Resolution was not in position, and even if he was, he doesn't have his waveform yet. He's just got the attribute shift. But there's still a lot of heroes in this top lane. That means that there's going to be action at some point. But it's actually going to be S4 taking a majority of the damage down in the bottom lane on this Tiny.
All right, so we have PL against the Visage. There's nothing Visage can really do to PL. Like, he can just farm, and this lane is awful for Tiny. Nobody likes the lane against Bane. He comes in, kicks your ass, and he heals back up. It's not a good time. This is the lane where things happen a lot.
Yeah, it should be anyway. And the 3-3 has Burrow Strike. They have the Bramble Maze at level 1. Get some experience. Resolution's doing okay, though. 6 last hits, 3 denies. They're effectively zoning out the Optic support and offlaner.
Yeah, they're doing very well. At some point, I'm sure PPD will probably want to come up here once he secures the safe lane, and then they'll just play with a bit of a try-on-try action. And Sand King has some levels, too.
Yeah, I mean, once you get levels in the Gyrocopter, you can start zoning out the Tiny effectively with Rocket Barrage. PPD can rotate on up to the top lane like you were talking about. But here comes Jerax. He's got the Astral. He's got the Staple Gun with Resolution. The Bramble Maze will come out and actually hits Jerax. He's in trouble. The Fate Bolt, the Burrow Strike is there. They need a little bit more damage to wait for him. 1 more auto attack. Oh. They won't find it, though, and it's going to be 3-3 that gets dropped. Maybe he's barely surviving. He's got the Tango rolling, and he actually will make it out alive. Somehow both of those heroes did not get dropped down, and that's me. It's pretty incredible.
My goodness. How did he not die?
That's a good question. Both of them, to be honest. But S4 will toss PPD back into the tower. Get out of here. Get out of my lane. The Brain Sap comes in, though, and S4 is still having a bit of a rough time. But in the top lane, they're going in to fly the Telekinesis. They've already used the Burrow Strike. Bramble Maze is down for another 3 seconds, but Optic are starting to put pressure onto this lane with the levels starting to come out for 3-3 and Zai.
Yeah, they're winning the regen war, right? Look at how low Fly is. He can't come up at all. Elder Titan, Jerax has to go heal. Resolution's scared to come up to last hit now, too. It's not easy.
Fly is going to get Bramble Maze. Zai is here. He's got the Shadow Realm. He will use it. He needs to charge up the damage. Not enough to get the kill, but still very close. Diving behind the tower. They have the Burrow Strike, and they just need 1 auto attack, and they will find it with 3-3. That is First Blood. Rotating, trying to find 3-3, but he can always Burrow Strike out of trouble, and they won't chase him down. Instead, they'll look for Zai, who has pulled the wave back. And that is a pretty big kill for Optic. That is a 3 against 2, and they still get the advantage in the lane.
Yeah, big time. It's all about the pressure, Mon.
And they're applying a lot of it.
How much? Can you give me a number?
Well, 1 kill exactly.
But how much pressure does that translate into?
Apparently not much, because Resolution is farming really well. 17 last hits, 6 denies. He has less denies, obviously, than the Gyrocopter, but I don't think he's really concerned about that.
Yeah,
he's still getting free farm, pretty much.
The dual lane is pretty much crippling the support duo, right? Not actually doing anything to Morphling's farm. He's still farming very well.
I mean, it's keeping Fly and Jerax in the top lane for the most part, but now Jerax has rotated to the mid lane, so this pressure isn't really accomplishing that much, and especially with Zai going back to the base now.
So this is what I was worried about for ET. Now I'm not sure how much pressure he can really apply, right? Like, Tiny's level 2. There's no kill threat against the Bane. You know, he's just sitting here.
Trying to get those banner runes, and PPD will find it with a nice Nightmare. Jerax will find the other. I was thinking he might come bottom and just try to help S4. And again, it's another 2-level matchup between the off lane and the safe lane. Pycat is level 4, S4 is level 2.
That's brutal.
Yeah. And you're going to see that discrepancy right here with the rocket barrage and the homing missile damage.
At least Tiny can counter the gyro pretty easily, right? You can't really run this hero down with flat cannon because you can just toss him back.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So he'll keep himself alive. But now No-Tail getting ganked here by Zai. The Bramble Mace comes out, the Shadow Realm. It's a lot of damage. CCNC has already used the Phantom Lance, or the Spirit Lance rather, but it's enough to get the kill. He had plenty of auto attacks, and the Visage just dropped down, and CCNC will have an even better time in this mid lane now.
That's the value kill, too, with the Mango forced.
Yeah, that is actually huge. And Fly is getting run at by 3-3. The Caustic Finale, he's got Burrow Strike up in 2. It is a level 2 Burrow Strike. This is a lot of damage. The Caustic Finale explosion, it's so low. Fly getting dropped even lower and lower, but it looks like he will survive. On the other side, though, Pycat does take down Jerax. In that bottom lane, there was a long chase going. PPD setting it up with a Nightmare. Looking for more now into S4. There's the toss back, and that is just going to keep S4 alive.
This game's crazy.
Yeah. It's a lot of action,
just running at each other behind towers, not afraid of anything. It's nice to see.
Optic have gotten off to a good start, but this is a resolution Morphling we're talking about, and this Visage will be able to get farm at some point once he's a little bit more room to work with.
Yeah, level 6 is the big one for Visage, right? Once those birds come out, he gets about 1,000,000 times stronger. I'm not the best at math, so 1,000,000 times. Don't quote me on that.
I'm sure that's accurate. Shadow Realm taking off the raindrop, but No-Tail is able to avoid the Bramble Maze for the most part and get himself back to safety with Jerax nearby, throwing up the Astral. PPD was also on the way, but he will only take the double damage away from Jerax and actually start to hit Jerax a little bit, but not too much, just one hit, and he will back up. Now they're going to dive back into the mid lane onto No-Tail with CCNC, but the Grave Chill will come out. That might keep him alive. There's the Nightmare, and now PPD will set up with the Shadow Realm to secure this kill. And it is going to be Zai securing it with that Shadow Realm damage, which is now level 2.
Very nice. And we were talking about the peel against the Visage, being able to apply pressure. It's already happening 6 minutes into the game, you know?
Yeah.
It gets worse and worse once those items come out.
Optic have a 3K lead at 6.5 minutes in, and they are about to put pressure on this Tier 1 tower and almost take it. They will rotate and fly. They also TP in the Visage, and S4 has roamed in from the bottom lane, trying to find his own experiences. He's only level 3. And all the meanwhile, 3-3 continues to do okay against Resolution in this top lane.
Good God, 3K at 6 minutes. That's insane.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I've seen that.
This is a significant lead, and we just saw EG versus Newbie, so that's saying something. But it's still, OG will have the room to work with. Jerax is getting run up by Pycat. The homing missile, the rocket barrage secures the kill. Oh, Pycat able to get there in time. That last little tick of rocket barrage damage is able to do the job.
Nobody can stay alive in this bottom lane against the Gyrocopter bot. And then they're also applying a bunch of pressure mid. OG, what do they do?
They got to fall back on Resolution, and he's getting good farm, but...
He's a Morphling, though.
Exactly. And this is... In the draft, you said that he takes a while to get online. You need the Lincoln Sphere, and once you get some levels, you can start morphing into different heroes and start really carrying the game. But that's not that point of the game yet. He's only level 5. He's almost 6, but that really won't help him as they're rotating him with a gank, the Shadow Realm. They need a Burrow Strike, but 3-3 wasn't in position in time. So he does avoid the gank, and that will give some more room to the rest of the OG heroes across the map.
Resolution, Spidey senses tingling. Very nice. Avoids that gank.
And he's got the attribute shift ready, too. Well, they could probably blow him up pretty quickly if he doesn't get it off in time. The toss back onto Pycat. The sleep is there, but he's got to drop the call down. He has the flat cannon running as well. Jerax might be okay. The tree toss.
Oh, Pycat's in deep.
Yeah, he's very far. They have another stomp in 3 with Fly's lift there. The TP from Pycat will keep him alive, and that could have been a big kill for OG that they missed out on narrowly.
That's gigantic. So many TPs forced. All of a sudden, Sand King still pressuring the top lane. And then there's pressure in the mid lane, too.
They rotated Resolution out of top for that, to try to find that kill. PPD getting low, though. No-Tail, a little bit more damage, and that would have been a kill. Or no wand on PPD also might have been the kill. Or the brain stab, excuse me, with the wand.
Oh, Mott, the net worth is ugly.
It's definitely not looking good for OG at this point.
When the game's at 8.5 minutes and only the net worth tells the story of, you know, how bad the game really is, it's rough.
They gave the Pycat Gyrocopter essentially free farm in the bottom lane.
Yep.
And they're
We've
still
seen what this guy can do.
And they're giving CCNC more room to work with in the mid lane with the Bramble Maze now coming out. And No-Tail. The Curse Crown is there. There's the Shadow Realm. This should be a kill with the Spirit Lance. The stun does come in with the familiar drops, but it's not in time, and CCNC will secure it with Zai coming along the ride.
Is this going to be a solo cut? The call down?
He got Avalanche at the right time, but he can still go for this. That stun from the homing missile on the rocket barrage is just too much. Pycat will get stomped. This could turn into a big kill for OG. They have the level 2 Fade Bolt.
No TP this time for Pycat.
Yeah, he's in a little deep, and there's the more from Resolution. They're doing about equal damage to each other.
But when you're not strong, transform into someone that is strong.
Yeah, the Gyrocopter Resolution showing that it's pretty good when you morph into it, and he finds the kill, and that is a big one. That is Resolution getting a killing spree from Pycat and finally getting more farm for himself on that Morphling.
Yep, but unfortunately, it's a 5,000 gold in favor of Optic Gaming. OG. My goodness. They ran into such a big problem. I mean, look at the pressure on No-Tail.
No-Tail continues to get run at. He is lower than Zai in net worth, and they're going to get even more for Zai as the Spirit Lance comes out, and Zai finds himself an assist onto the Visage. They've lost the Tier 1 tower in the mid lane. It is a 5K lead, and OG continued to struggle at the beginning of this game.
I'm so glad the team showed us how to play Dark Willow.
Zai?
Yeah.
He is, he's crushing it for sure.
All you do is gank mid lane with Bramble Maze and your Cursed Crown skill.
I mean, people were discussing if this hero was broken or not. It seems pretty good. Once you get the Shadow Realm levels, it's a lot of damage. It's good lockdown with just 1 point in Bramble Maze and Cursed Crown. Nightmare onto Resolution. Pycat's got the homing missile. Rezo is all agility morph, but that shouldn't matter. He's going to have to be chipped now and be fine.
He'll walk that one off. He's okay.
Yeah, he's good to go.
It pushes him off the wave. There's a wagon up top. 2 heroes as well. There's so much pressure that OG have to respond to, but with their lineup, they're not ready to fight.
Oh, they have smoked up. They might find Pycat in the river. The Avalanche just misses. Oh. OG were so close. They had 3 heroes there plus the familiars. That would have been a kill. They couldn't find it. And instead, Optic continue to pressure the top Tier 2 tower. This is a Sand King and a PL pressuring at Tier 2. And now Zai coming with a Bramble Maze.
Yep, just zoning Jerax off the tower.
And this Tier 2 is dead. They were also trying to find PPD, but he TP's out of trouble in the bottom lane. And OG will try to find themselves a tower and get something. They're down 8K at 11.5 minutes right now, Brax.
My goodness. That's a lot of gold.
Whew. Optic Gaming, man. The lane setups.
Yep, that's where it begins, right?
Yeah.
You have this hero, this Visage in the mid lane that doesn't actually do anything until he gets level 6. And with their combination of heroes, they can't actually help him, right? You have Phantom Lancer. He's fantastic when people come to gank for him. Fantastic when you're diving under tower. You can always reset the aggro with a Doppelganger. You've got all these illusions. Good he can get on top of these weaker heroes. And then, of course, the offlane, where Optic Gaming were able to pressure these support heroes heavily. They didn't want to leave, right? And when they did, it's just... You end up leaving into this level 8 Gyrocopter with phase boots running you down.
I was supposed to fight into that at that point of the game. They really had to wait for Pycat to dive for them to actually be able to get anything done against the hero. And now there is a Blink Dagger on 3-3 with treads along with it. Wand and a ring drop. They will epicenter and blow away this Morphling. Resolution gets absolutely destroyed.
PPD set them up very nicely, just camping out in the trees. The patience game.
Is this going to be another smoke broken by a 5-position support? It looks like it will be. PPD's going to run into Fly. They have the lift. This is not the best target, but they can still get the kill at the very least. Familiars will go. They have the Nightmare, but I don't think that'll save his life. They couldn't get off the brain sap in time. The call down's going to come in. They're going to try to turn this. S4 is nearby, but he's not quite at the fight. It is a DD Gyro, and No Tail is gone, and Fly trying to TP cannot make it out either. The Bedlam is there from Zai. They're looking for the familiars now as they've taken 2, and PPD is 100% fine with that gank.
Look at that. Cheering the team on, little well-played action. And the Bramble Maze kills the birds, too.
Prax. They got bots on Morphling at least. He knows this is a long game. It's time to get to the split push.
Yeah, that's the road to recovery. Incredible.
CCNC, though, has a diffusal blade, so he wants to be involved.
Yep. You know, on the bright side for OG, S4 almost has his Blink Dagger. That could be game-changing, getting on top of heroes like the Dark Willow, being able to blow them up, get some nice pickoffs.
We saw how the Blink Dagger on the Tiny in the last game didn't accomplish much because of the positioning of the enemy team. Maybe the same thing happens for Optic, or maybe S4 can find some really good initiations and get his team back into the game, but it's going to have to be a lot. They need to get a lot of kills for them to make up this deficit. So they're down 8K, and at 13 minutes, 14 minutes of the game, that is nothing to scoff at.
Yep, that AK gold wall is going to be tough to overcome.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
That's where it starts, right? Getting these key pickoffs, being able to open up the map so you can farm. Because at the moment, it's Optic Gaming that are controlling the map. You have to worry about this Bane hiding out on the side lanes, setting up the Fiend's Grip. Same thing with the Sand King. So it's much more difficult.
And the Bane just got level 6. This is all before he had his Fiend's Grip available.
Yeah.
There is a BKB coming for the Gyro. In the meantime, top lane, they're going to find CCNC. He's going to get tossed up in the air. It's a lot of damage. He actually avoids the Soul Assumption. The Stomp and Miss as well. The waveform, CCNC juking back to the trees and trying to get out into the lane. JRX is here. They're keeping pace. I will find Fly across the map in the meantime, but CCNC will fall. And that is the start. That is the start for OG back into this game, getting that kill onto the Phantom Lancer.
Yep, they need more of that. And, you know, Phantom Lancer, he was pushing very aggressively, right? Which is good. You want to be able to apply pressure. Didn't know the Blink Dagger was coming out. Now he'll think twice next time when he's in that position because he knows that that threat's there. And that could potentially buy some more time for OG to keep farming their way back in the game.
Do you know how much OG got for that one kill?
No. Would you like to tell me?
1,000 gold.
Wowzers.
And that wasn't even a big spree. It was like dominating or something.
Yeah.
4-time spree.
That's just the big swing from the gold difference.
And the good news is Resolution got the majority of the gold. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Optic trying to take the tier 1 tower. The Stomp will come in. They've got the Bedlam running, and this is going to be trouble for S4. The Curse Crown also there. 3-3 Burrow Strike. They've got the call down to the level 2, the Terrorize. As Visage is there, and this is a problem. The Earth Splitter coming in. It's a lot of damage. 3-3 with the epicenter. JRX is getting low. It's a double kill for 3-3, but it's actually a 2-for-2. Fly getting low. The Urn taking him down. It's going to be close. He will get dropped. It's 3-for-2 now, and PPD and Zai on the run. They want to turn on to Big Daddy No Tail now, and they will do just that. As CCNC comes in with Diffuse Blade, they've got the Curse Crown. One more death going OG's way. They did their best in that fight, and it was close, but Optic come out ahead, and they get the tier 1 tower on top of it all. Actually, it does get denied by Resolution, but still.
You know, gold-wise, that wasn't bad for OG at all. They denied the tower. They got 2 big kills in the Gyrocopter and the Sand King. Fly managed to steal the call down in that fight, helped turn that. Not bad at all. You know, it looks bad because they died.
Right.
But they essentially just traded kills with the tower denied, right? It could be much worse.
I mean, you're going to see it here. The Bedlam coming in, and S4 getting caught, and that's really, if he's able to survive the beginning of this engagement, things probably go a lot better. But he was on the run, especially once he got feared.
The Epi looks so good, but they actually all lived with, I mean, they didn't actually
sliver of HP.
They got pretty low.
3-3 doing some work with that Blink Dagger, though, as you can see. And they're still getting map control for Optic. They found a Burrow Strike. That'll be under the Tiny, but the toss back is there as S4 has the Urn Charge placed on him. He's still on the run. 3-3 has a Blink up in 5, but they won't be able to get there in time.
Double damage Roshan.
I feel like I've seen this movie before. BD Roche. But it's another step down the list for Optic Gaming. They will grab Roshan, they will grab the Aegis and try to get to some of these tier 2 towers. And CCNC has now got a Vitality Booster just to make it a bit tanky. He will grab the Aegis to work with that as well. Pycat's BKB just about done for the Gyrocopter. All these items starting to come out. They almost have a full Yule Scepter for Zai. The 4.5 position support, whatever you want to call it.
Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably 4, actually.
That's 4. With the Bane, it's definitely 4. But yeah. How are they going to respond to that? BKB Gyro? Aegis as well?
And they're going to smoke, but this might be JRX breaking the smoke this time. It's close. They haven't spotted him yet. They have a ward. Now they will. The ward will see them. JRX is going to try for the TP, and it's going to be close. They can't get the Nightmare off in time. PPD was mid-animation, but it wasn't going to be there. That's a very nice play for JRX. That gives you more time for OG for S4 to get more farm across the map.
Yeah, very, very good. You know, it's often understated how important it is to break that key smoking. You see these core heroes that are meant to be pushing out these lanes, that want to be, you know, pushing these lanes, then getting off map so they can make plays elsewhere. And when they get spotted like that, when they're already grouped up, you lose a lot of map pressure. That's a lot of time for OG to keep on farming to get these lanes out.
And that's really what they need, is time at this point in the game. Time and probably kills will help.
Time and money mod.
Exactly.
It's like real life.
But Pycat and CCNC, they have a lot of both time and money as they pressure the tier 2 tower. They'll drop the homing missile, they'll push Visage back in the meantime, or excuse me, the Elder Titan. But it's going to give some space for OG in the mid lane to try to continue the push with S4.
You know what, I joked about how it's kind of a blanket statement when you say one team has good high ground defense, but OG really do have good high ground defense with Elder Titan.
And they're going to need it in this game. They will get S4 out of trouble. Is it good as the VGJ Thunder high ground defense was, though, is the question.
Oh, no. That was like some amazing high ground defense.
Yeah. Not quite the same thing. But,
you know, Morphling, this guy's pretty powerful, right? When he gets that, he's almost at his Lincoln Sphere, very close, and he's got the boots of travel, so he'll be pretty difficult to gank on the side lanes just because of the Lincoln Sphere protection. And then once he makes it to E-Blade.
I mean, if he can morph into Pycat as well,
Yeah.
you get the flat cannon, and you do a lot of damage when you come out of that with Morphling.
It's true.
It can really work to your advantage.
Yeah, for me, the big game changer is that going to be that E-Blade.
Yeah.
Where you can blow up some of these heroes or just make it so difficult for them to sit in front of your face because you can casually blast them.
Well, he's just about to buy this Lincoln Sphere, so the E-Blade's going to be pretty far behind for now.
Yep.
And again, Optic are going down the checklist as you would expect to do. You take all the tier 2 towers, try to get some vision up, try to choke out OG from getting outside the base. And they're going to drop some wards with PPD up at the top lane, just trying to get some more vision, seeing where Resolution's moving. And Resolution is doing his best with these bots, but Optic are just starting to really take control of this map, Rex.
That they are. They can comfortably push out any lane with any hero, pretty much, except for Bane. He doesn't want to show. But yeah, high ground's still hard, right? Like, you need a pick-off, or you would definitely like a pick-off, because if you just walk up to the high ground, into the Elder Titan Stomp, all that damage, it's just, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're going to hit this wall where you take a bunch of damage for free, and then potentially set yourself up for a bad team fight.
Earth Splitter can do some serious work in this game for JRX if they can hold. We have a team of Optic running up behind that of OG. No Tail has picked up the helm of the Dominator. He's got a full medallion on the way, but 3-3 with the haste rune blinks in, and he can't find him, actually. And the TP from No Tail should be successful. We'll have a Blinken from S4. He actually, was so close. 3-3, almost found him with that Burrow Strike, but S4, good TP timing. He's able to get himself back to the base. And now the waves get pushed out again.
Just buying time.
Yes, that's the name of the game.
Yep. How do you buy time? How much money does it cost?
Apparently 10K at this point.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's the deficit they are facing. And that's what they need to come back from.
Look at this. Even Jarek's pulling waves. Just trying to stall out the game.
This is what you have to do, and they're doing a very good job of it. Aegis timing is only 40 seconds, so it feels like it's been, you know, the span of a blink of an eye, but OG have done a great job keeping the game somewhat even and keeping the tier 3 towers alive. They even have a Wild Wing, which was taken by a No Tail, I think, with the helm of the Dominator.
Yep.
Got the extra armor with that.
You know, the biggest concern for OG at the moment is that No Tail on his Visage isn't going to be able to keep up in terms of farm. Hero does not farm that fast, and he also doesn't really have the space or the survivability to really leave the base. It's just Resolution on his Morphling. So while Resolution will keep farming, No Tail pretty much will get minimal farm. All right, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, it was a nice little pick. I mean, Bedlam is really good for that.
Yep.
The amount of damage it can do is pretty insane. But it does force the 2 supports back to the top tier 1 tower. So top of net worth hero is going to be CCNC. He's actually just ahead of Pycat, despite Pycat having a great start. CCNC has been just free farming at this point with the illusions, pushing the waves out. He is working out of Heart of Trask. He already has the S and Y with Diffusal. That was the first item that he grabbed, but the Heart will make him nigh impossible to kill at this point.
Yeah, the big thing is Heart makes it easy to siege high ground. He can just sit there, tank, run past the tower, zone some of these heroes off, and heal it all up because they won't be able to commit heavily. Look at their stuns, right? You have Blink Tiny, Rubik. Once PL gets Heart, you won't actually be able to burst and be able to get the Doppelganger off every time.
Yeah, that Tiny gonna need some more damage for him to actually be able to do some work against this CCNC Phantom Lancer. He's getting close to the Shadow Blade, so they'll get there eventually. The Aegis, of course, is gone. Roche may respawn in the next 2 minutes, but we'll see what the actual respawn time is after those 2 minutes are up.
We've hit that point, Mod. It's the wait for next Roshan.
Right. I mean, at this point, it's just who can get a pick off and maybe get some map control back.
Exactly.
If Optic can find a kill or two, if they can get a good fight, they can maybe potentially take high ground. But it's difficult because OG are being very slippery at this point of the game. However, Optic will smoke and they will try to find No Tail or Resolution, who are down in the bottom lane.
Yep, if they can catch any of these heroes outside their base, it could lead to high ground, but looks unlikely, right? OG playing it very safe. They see the courier, but all right.
Nice courier pick from 3-3. Heck of a game on the Sand King so far. He's 4-1-5. Good burrows, good EPs. He's working on a 4-staff now with the casual vitality booster that he's picked up. But OG, they have good late game, obviously one of the best late game teams out there, at least that's what they were considered back in the heyday, and I think they still are for good reason with Resolution.
Oh yeah, their late game play is definitely very, very good. It's just a matter about getting there.
But Optic are in such a strong position. This Dark Willow now with the Blink Dagger for Zai. He's just pushing the waves out with the Bramble Maze. Bottom, the creep wave is being cut by 3-3. And it feels like Optic are getting ready to go without the Aegis.
It's so rare that a team can show in all 3 lanes to push out these lanes simultaneously.
Oh my god. The Terrorize, the Bedlam, it's a lot of damage, but the rest of OG were here to help out. Now Zai actually has to run. The Ul Scepter, Zai getting run down. They've got the Wild Wing. There's the Waveform, the Adaptive Strike, a couple more auto attacks. Zai will fall, and OG about to get the kill. But they will get the Shadow Realm off, and Zai blinks away. Can the TP be successful? It looks like it will be. The Waveform is not there in time from Rezo. What a play from Zai. They were so close.
The shenanigans bot.
New meta, says PPD. He's not wrong. It is a Dark Willow after all. The Shadow Realm comes out. But they do push Zai out of the top lane. They'll get the waves at least a little bit further out. But in the meantime, they have picked up more items for Phantom Lancer and the rest of Optic Gaming. The Lincoln Sphere is about to be completed for Pycat. He has a full Lincoln's Drum BKB coming out in the courier here in a moment. Just the Lincolns, rather. But
yeah, let's see if S4 can make something happen with Shadowblade. That's what they need, right? When you have the entire team showing in a different lane, just killing creep waves, with that Shadowblade, you can potentially get some pickoffs. Definitely what they need.
Yeah.
They need to make something happen.
There's the Burrow Strike. Optic will use the call down. Jarex is going to get out in time. They have the homing missile coming in, but they can't find the kill. But they might find more. They have the TP from Resolution. The Nightmare will cancel it, and this is going to be a nice kill. This is going to be the Visage down. The Curse Crown comes out. They've got the Spirit Lance and CCNC, one of the best heroes against the Gravekeeper's Cloak. They take him down, and a couple of the Visage Birds as well. He does have buyback, but now the Lincoln Sphere is done with Pycat. And with this kill, once the waves are pushed in, they might be able to take the tower or Roshan, which is now up if Optic want to go for that.
Hopefully, Roche. These towers are quite difficult to take still. What a combo. To sleep into the Curse Crown.
Yeah, that is
cool.
Just don't touch him, and then 4 seconds later, he's stunned for a year and a half.
Yep.
But there will be more split pushing for OG as expected. They will sit in the bottom lane with Resolution. He's getting closer and closer to his Ethereal Blade, but even with that item, it's going to be enough to bring down this tanky CCNC Phantom Lancer, or really any of these heroes for Optic. Maybe the supports, obviously. But
yeah, Optic have itemized quite well for the E-Blade that's eventually going to come out. Pycat has a Lincoln Sphere. Helps you dealing with that quite a bit. And you're right, there's no actual E-Blade target. Because the E-Blade does 3,500 HP PL once he picks up the Lincoln, or the Heart of Tarask. Or this Gyro in the front lines with BKB and Lincoln Sphere. It's not going to be easy.
it is going to be kind of impossible to bring down CCNC and Pycat at this point in the game. They now have Cheese and Aegis. Aegis on CCNC, Cheese on Pycat. The trade will come out for OG and Resolution, getting the only thing they really can get at this point, which is the Tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. More money for Resolution's Ethereal Blade, more money for Visage's next item, which is going to be that Solar Crest for no tail. But now with the Aegis and Cheese, as long as they can keep the waves pushed in for Optic, they can start going for high ground momentarily.
Yep, I imagine it's go time for Optic. You have everything you need in terms of items. You've hit all your power spikes. You've got Roshan, got Cheese. It's just a matter of getting these lanes out so you can safely approach OG without them being able to potentially trade.
OG they scouted out Optic's movements with the Shadow Bladed Tiny, so they know they were all going bottom, and this allows them to TP to other lanes to try to push them out. But now Optic have the waves pushing in both mid and in bottom, and there's really nothing stopping them from trying to go high ground now.
That's right, it's go time. Push out 2 lanes, run down 1 afterwards.
All right, OG looking for a high ground stand. They have the 4 stuff on Jarex. They're actually relatively farmed on their supports considering how this game has gone.
Yeah.
And again, an Earth Splitter, a good Astral into a Stomp could do some work, but the 3-3 Sand King will start the fight off. They miss the Bramble. They do get off the Diffusal onto Fly, but he's able to back himself away.
I'm pretty surprised they jumped like that. Like,
yeah.
CCNC is basically zoning them all off the tower by himself. All they have to do is sit back and wait until they overstep a little on OG. There's
that Earth Splitter. They found 3-3, but the Terrorize comes out and it does hit onto the Morphling. while they were trying to make a go onto the 3-3 Sand King, CCNC did finish off the tier 3 tower.
It's all about the buildings, Mott.
Yeah, and they are really hitting them.
Structures.
28 minutes into this game, and OG need to find something. They'll jump in, but the immediate nightmare onto Tiny stops any further initiation. The epicenter, the burrow strike. Pinecake getting low. He pops the cheese, though. No pop the BKB along with the rocket barrage. They have to buy back onto S4. CCNC is still chasing the familiar drops, keeping No Tail alive for a moment longer, but maybe not a moment. Great toss from Tiny from S4 to keep No Tail alive. So they will continue to be able to fight here in a moment once they get the healings done, but they will still lose their racks in the bottom lane. It looks like a CCNC is just going to work. The Fade Bolt will come out. They will have the damage reduction. It will not be enough. The Astral, they get off an Avalanche. That'll be on to Podcat now with the Ethereal Blade. They do blow him up. He's dead for 58 seconds. A big kill, but again, they lose racks for this. The Fade Bolt comes out. CCNC is a monster. Good luck bringing him down. He's looking for Fly. The Burrow Strike comes in for 3-3. They'll find another kill. That'll be on to this Rubik. Now the Bedlam coming into No Tail, and he might fall. He's getting low. He's forced away. S4 trying his best to keep him alive, but they use him up. They're still chasing him with CCNC. The Doppelganger comes out. The Spirit lands as well, and now they're turning on to the Tiny, who is out of mana, but he will Shadow Blade in time. Shadow Realm, the Burrow Strike coming in. That'll be onto one, but Resolution comes through and blows up Zai. It's a lot of damage being done. CCNC out of mana, but still ready to fight. Pretty much do this alone, it feels like. They're going to toss him back and try to at least get this Aegis.
Can they actually kill him, though?
They have Ethereal Blade up now. CCNC on the run. They're looking for this. The Sandstorm comes in. There's the Force. They need to find more initiation. They have to blink back in 3 for 10. He's going to force himself and try to find this Avalanche. They're still trying to chase. The familiar drop is there. CCNC tossed up into the air. They have this Ethereal Blade still. The Burrow Strike comes in. They cannot kill this man, and they're turning back onto Jerax. The Stomp will come through. It keeps Jerax alive, but CCNC will be chasing him down with the help of 3-3 momentarily as a pause comes through, and Optic are dealing with some lag and a crash. Whew.
Well, PL just doesn't die.
No.
Like, his restriction is mana. They're hoping he lances 25 times in the team fight, so he's got no mana. That's actually the point of the game we've got to.
And that's actually what's happened. He has no mana now, but it doesn't mean he can't continue to chase all the rest of the heroes around the map. And they tried their best to get this Aegis, just the Aegis down. They can't even do that at this point. That is the sizable lead that Optic have, a 16K advantage now.
Yeah, and we were also talking about just the hero matchups in general, right? You look at the lockdown from OG, once items like the Heart of Thras come out, or just even the Aegis, you can't kill this guy. And that's such a big problem.
Ooh, nice deny from Jerax. That'll help a little bit, but he is down for 48 with no buyback. Visage will be respawning shortly. They don't have the cheese on Pycat anymore, but again, they still have that Aegis. And as long as they can get some mana for CCNC, they can continue to go. They might not even need it, actually.
It's go time.
Yeah, it really is at this point. OG are holding on by a thread, and Optic looking for an upset. They're trying to get to 2-1 in this Swiss format, 1 game away from the playoffs. They've looked good so far this tournament, beating Virtus Pro. They've got the Burrow Strike, the Bramble Maze on to 2, the call down to fall, the Flat Cannon coming in, and No Tail will fall almost instantly. He's got the buyback available, and he might need to use it, and they might just give away the second set of racks. The tier 3 is gone. They got the homing missile onto the Tiny West to Shadow Blade himself to safety. 3-3 is there with a blank, ready to go into 4-staff. Fly will steal Sandstorm, not the spell that he wanted. Resolution getting low, but he needs the agility for the Ethereal Blade to come in. CCNC getting telekinesis. They got the Terrorizer coming in. They've got Resolution turned into the Gyrocopter, but it's not going to help. The Epicenter will go, but it actually doesn't bring down Rezo. They get S4 instead as he got forced away on that Resolution Morphling, but still everybody buying back, everybody dying for OG. They will take down at least the Sand King, and finally the Aegis of CCNC, but they're using so much for OG. They're losing their buildings. The Earth Splitter will go. Maybe they can find CCNC now. It's a lot of damage being done. They don't have the Ethereal Blade for another 6 seconds. The Rocket Barrage coming in. The call down will go. Resolution will wait for him back into the well. Get some HP and agility attribute shift once more. The Stomp comes in from Jerax, and CCNC continues to fight. The Curse Crown, the Burrow Strike, it's on to 2. They'll find a double kill from Zai with a Bedlam huge pickup, and that will be 4 dead. Elder Titan has the only buyback in the game. Resolution, or rather on the OG side, that is alive. They will use that buyback. It's going to be 2 versus 5 at this point. And their mega creeps are about to come shortly for Optic Gaming.
OG not giving up yet, but it's
They're trying their damnedest, but Optic are playing so well. They've got such a sizable lead. Pycat is in there. The Bramble Maze will come. And Resolution's trying to find an Ethereal Blade, but the Lincoln Sphere is there for Pycat. The Nightmare comes in onto Resolution, and now Megas are coming. They've got tier 4s under siege as all of the creeps are rolling right on in for Optic Gaming. The Flat Cannon, the call down, pushing back, the Burrow Strike, the Resolution, wait for him back into the well. But at this point, it seems too little, too late for OG, and Optic about to take the last 2-4 in the Ancient. There's not much else OG can do, and this is a huge victory for Optic should they get it, and they will. The Dark Willow buyback coming in, Pivecap pops the BKB.
They're just hitting the throw.
At this point, it's all over, Brax. This will be Optic Gaming taking out OG here in this third-day match.
Wow, convincing. What that PL pick was amazing.
CCNC had a great time in that mid lane.
Yeah, you know, he's had a couple rough games this tournament, but look what happens when you give him a good matchup, right?
Yeah,
very good.
He just gets a lot of room to work with. He gets a couple of kills with the help of the Zai Dark Willow, who rotated a lot. Zai did, I think, a lot of work in the early stages of this game.
It just felt like with the lane set